Morning. Some of you attended. Some of you did not attend for the reasons best known to you. Some of you are genuine reasons. Some of you are not genuine reasons. Some of you absconded off the way. Behave like typical students. Is what that. I assume at least after the session you will stay back for the and so you will have some food for discussions. I was telling in the morning, there is a huge potential is available if you can really quickly grasp your new technologies and get some practical insights. There is a huge opportunity available for you and waiting for you. Are you willing to put in the efforts? Are you willing to sacrifice certain things to achieve something better in life? Is a question of the day. How serious we are. There is a huge potential for corporate training. The industry is looking at the trainers to come and train their employees. Huge employees need trains. I don't know how many of you may not be aware. During the late 90s, we had a Y2K boom. We need a huge global programmers to take over the software to maintain it to adjust to Y2K problem. The same situation is arising now for the AI. We need a huge manpower. You need to train my existing manpower so that my manpower is ready for the AI challenges. That's the area where we are looking at people to come and help the industry. The other dimension is we want people to take up this consultancy problem, take the problem of the industry and can you work on solution and give it to us. Industry is willing to outsource some of the workload what they have. Especially the manufacturing sector, public sector, insurance sector, banking sector, and a number of other systems they are looking at. We will define what a consulting proposal is. I'm going to touch upon two dimensions. One is the corporate training and second is consultancy. Both I'm going to touch upon. Subject to time available. And explain its purpose, why we're doing this purpose. And list the typical elements we can run. What are the kind of elements, what are the kind of chapters, what are the kind of units you need to have it to submit a proposal to the corporate board. And provide steps to explaining how to write a consulting proposal is what I'm going to talk about. What are the kind of chapters you need to have it and how you have to go about it. And offer a template and example you can reference with writing one on your own is what I'm planning to do. This is the given limited time. 1.5 is too small a time, but let me try how best I can. Because 4 decades experience with executing so many projects, and it's too short a time, but we'll try. My first experience to develop software way back in 79, 80, 81. I was involved in designing software for the State Board of Secondary Education. I was involved in intermediate education. I was involved in writing software for the electricity board. 3 projects, major projects, landing good place. And normally 10th class students, we all think what is so great in that. 6 subjects, 11 papers, is over. You people don't know. In 10th class, there are 24 subjects are offered. Please note this. You may not know those things. There are so many languages are offered. Bharatanatyam is one of the subjects in classical music is one subject. There are so many other subjects are there. And generally, we all think that 30, 35 is the pass mark. And generally, we assume 100 is the maximum mark. There are certain subjects only 75 is maximum. There are certain subjects only 25 is pass mark. All the combinations we need to understand. When I went there first time, I thought, what is so simple? But let me tell you, when I gone into depth, it really took a lot. There are almost 25 steps before examination. And almost equal number after the examinations. All these students, they fill in that exam forms. And then you consolidate it and send it to us. That's what we call nominal notes. First, for me to understand what is the volume of the data. And those days we didn't have this kind of high computing things, were managed. And we were using typically punch cards. Yes. And then converting to tape, and then tape you take it. And we didn't have any main computers here, except we had one in ECL, one in CMC, and they were giving only night 1 or 2 hours for us. So we were taking the data on tape totally, and then go to IIT Madras. They're so kind. They used to give us the time night 12 to morning 4. So evening flight to catch and go there. Whole night you had to awaken and cross the data, come back the next morning. And we had printer, we could print all that and keep it there. Looks simple again. Look at the high volume data. Even one mistake, the whole processing is gone. 1 day has gone, plus expenses of traveling and all that. And data entry, we all do data entry. But in this case, we do twice data entry. First time we enter data, second time we enter reagain. Any mismatch, it highlights. Because it's a question of life of the student, we can't take a risk. Salary, even if I pay 10 rupees less, next month I can adjust. Here, suddenly they take maximum. So we enter the data twice, and any mismatch when the system points out is not matching with the previous. We need to go and check, double check, and then ensure that. So it means we have to write the software. One is for data entry, second to cross check on this particular stochastic. I'm simplifying, actually, depth is more, I'm simplifying things. Once that is done, the master database is created. Then we have to generate each subject wise how many question papers to be printed. In what medium it is, because there are so many mediums, Telugu medium, English medium, Hindi medium, Urdu medium, Kannada medium also, Marathi medium we have it. So each medium wise, each subject wise, how many question papers to be printed, and it extract that data. And also I need to get each center wise how many papers I need to send it. That information also to generate. Which medium will send it, all that information generated. What we call is packaging information. So all that I need to generate. And once the data is sent, generally hall tickets and all that we generate in video. Then they take it, go ahead and conduct the exam. And we also have the teachers' database available to us. Which data to be allotted, what kind of duties and all, invigilation duties and all against system does. That's software also required. All that is over, examination starts. Now then it goes to spot validation center. Then before that, it goes to spot validation, dummy number generated. Your answer script, whatever the hard number is written, that's taken out. Because the invigilator should not know it belongs to which coding we are doing. That we are generating it. And then give it to them. Okay. Now answer script goes to the invigilator, they start evaluating the answer scripts. And then there are 3-4 centers you should there to split more number. From there, the marks list comes. Marks list with the dummy number, not real number. So all that we enter. Again, here also data we enter twice. Marks. Instead of typing 3-4, you may type 4-3. But we can't take a risk. Once the data is entered, the board claims we have sent the whole data, now we can go ahead and process it. All the data. But we check on the database. Is any marks wanting statement? That means for some cases we are not receiving marks. It happens such a large volume, it happens. So we do scan and saying that these are the candidates where we are not received marks. The candidate roll number and the subjects in which we did not get. And each spot will certifies will segregate and send it. The data will go to them. They try to trace out those answer scripts. Try to trace out those answers because it's a huge one. And if answer script is evaluated, fine, just give the marks. If not, they get immediately done and send the marks to us. So the remaining marks we can correct. And after that also, we scan once again. Is that still missing? Can happen. Large one. Those days it was a combined state, so number is more. and usually there will be some missing pieces. What the board takes decision is that we minute percent, maybe 0.1, 0.2%, something like that. The board gives a decision. All those cases, please put in with and go ahead and process it. So we go ahead and process it. Now problem comes is, unfortunately, the exams happens only during March. You are all aware of it. April correction goes on, and by May it comes data and it's happening. We did that. This kind of support systems, backup systems called generators. The power backups. Not data to print, high volume data. And those days we didn't have options. After some power cuts, the system stops. I have to restart the data once again process. Today you have where you stop, you can start from that point. No, just look at it. Anyway, all that we do it only, yes, we go ahead and process it. And then now this takes time. What these fellows they say, we have given the data, why don't you give me tomorrow morning results? I need to enter the data. I need to double check data has come or not, all that. And these fellows they are going to tell the minister, sir, we already handed over data, and what is the computation tomorrow? Now they come to us saying that minister has already given the statement to the press, tomorrow we are releasing results. How can you tell them? How can you expect things to happen? No, sir, somehow you have to do it. But somehow. And these media people, they'll be behind you. Sir, results of the children, sir. But I am not the competent authority to tell those things. It's only the government can tell. We are not supposed to. Ni pair cheppa, sir. Cheppan, sir. Or repair is just then gone. So there's confidential data. You can. So anyway, minister gives statement. Now we have no choice but to work day and night and come out of this. We announce saying that, and minister wants data. Each district wise number of students appeared, pass percentage, and what are the top 10. So many questions will there. And the community was also very good because SCST has some special. All the data is generated and given. To understand this complexity, it took for us 3 months to understand what things should be done. Software, not I'm just understanding system. Then we build the software. This is the complexity involved. Because that's not my goal. Same way when I had to go and develop software banking industry. Banking is not my domain. We as computer science people, we think our job is no, unless you understand the application domain, you cannot develop the software. Please understand this. You need to know the application domain with which you cannot. Like in medical sciences, we say, unless you diagnose the patient and understand, then you can't do it. For fever has come, you can't give everybody paracetamol, not work. You reach and if you have enough of that, I don't know how many people understand biological term, metabolism is different. Or will same thing is true. So each application you want to go, first you need to understand the domain with which you are developing the software. There are a variety of applications we are involved. I recall once I was developing software medical science for the government of then government of Andhra Pradesh. I need to understand what the data they want. What the kind of thing they want. They want leprosy, they want cancer, they want family planning, family welfare, so these things. Where is that data? Data is all in bits and pieces in various softwares. Those days we didn't have a network, somebody just put there and it comes here. No. Floppy stable. These are difficulties. One more application where we are involved. We were putting up computers in all the district quarters. Not just putting computers, we need to develop a district level database. So many parameters on which district administration runs. Now we said we will only develop the software. Any problem with software we will not answer. But data and all, we will not. Because government data getting is difficult. Data is in different formats. Various reasons we didn't want to get it. We said we'll develop the software, we'll install the computers for you, We will train your entire staff. All the heads of departments were trained and said now it's available for you to put in the radar and start with this. We have to go around the state and connect all that. But I need to understand what database they put. There are 200 parameters on which I have to calculate these instruments. So many departments in the government, so many beneficiaries in the government, so much happens. We are done. There is one more program where the then Chief Minister N.T. Ramarao, he has a pet scheme called, I don't know how many parents, Pragati Padam, we will not meet so at the same time, the government of India has 25 crore. They wanted this data to be available in 20 months. I need to understand what the government of India wants on 20 funds. What are the 20 funds? And where is the data? What is the format the data is going to come to us? What is the format I need to generate and give it to them? And how they are recording the data. The unit of recording is varying again from Varangal and Kakinada or some other thing is different. Unless you standardize, we can't do these things. All these are challenges. And we have to go and tell the district, no, sir, here we do like this. But I'm talking about state level consultation. I need to have a common format. I can't do that. Then I had to have a meeting at the chief secretary level or secretary level and say this is what is required. Then they call and they discuss this something. The process takes time. Please understand it. N number of problems. But still we need to understand. Finally, we start building something. Most of the trouble goes in trying to understand the domain, trying to understand what kind of data they have, what kind of format in which they have, and what is that we need to analyze and present it. And each and every officer is unique. He talks from his angle. Unless you bring in commonality, we can't develop software. Dealing with human beings is very, very challenging because there is no uniform systems. That's another problem. Then once the government has come and they want to go for pay revision. So if we agree for so much percentage to, what is the impact on the finances of the government? My first question to the government is, how many employees you have and how many are in which scales and so on? And everybody started looking at the other. There is no consult database to say my department has got so many employees. Agriculture department or finance department or veterinary department or education department and so on. If you don't give me how many employees are there, then how do I work out? And we were wasting 1 week time. Then finally meeting went up to chief secretary. I said it's a shame for the government. It's like a parent saying, I don't know how many children are there. How can government say we don't know how many employees are there? You have appointed all of them. There's a service records, everything maintains. Nobody knows. Then on that we have to work first to create that employee database. That's a big challenge for us. Please understand. It's not just working out what is the impact and all. That's very easy. That our software you can do it. We need to create the database first. And then work on scales. What are the scales? What are the increments they wanted? Then we could do that. This happened. Look at the kind of challenges. It's not just writing code. It is understanding the domain first, understanding what format need to be there and all that, and what form data is there. That's a big challenge. This is what's going to happen. N number of applications I can keep talking about it, but because of time, I'll not go into the details. Consultants often work on a variety of projects with different clients on a contract basis. When we do consultancy projects, we do on a contract basis. Contract, we agree, okay, we will develop this software, this is what we'll implement it. We will do hand holding only for 6 months or 1 year, or we'll say our job is hand over software and work out. There are a variety of contracts will be there. You need to understand that. What is that you're committing it? Consultants often work on a variety of projects because we're dealing with different organizations, different departments is what we talk about. Different clients on a contract basis, we do business only for contract for that project is what we do. To reach agreements with the clients, and that's where the challenge is. They will start discussing, and these are the kind of things. At the end of it, I'll ask him, please sign this document and give it to me. He won't sign. आप लोग start करिए ना बाद में sign करेंगे. Unless you freeze the requirements, I can't estimate time, I can't estimate the cost. And they give excuse. हमारा हेड कैंप में गया वहां नहीं बस साइन कर दिया आप लोग स्टार्ट करिए. What is the basis on which I can start? Oh, don't you trust me? It's not the question of trust there. It's a question of time involved and for which cost is involved. So to reach agreement with clients is a big challenge. So I had to literally force them to sign this document. Then as per this, I'll execute the contract. If you don't sign, I can't execute the contract. For example, I'm sure some of you might have taken housing loans. Only when you sign that agreement, the contract, then he will release. Otherwise, he will not release it. అరే సైన్ చేశాను నమ్మకం లేదా ఇచ్చేసేవా పైసలు. Same thing is here happens. So to reach agreement with clients, you need to reach the agreement. You need to be very, very clear what is the kind of deliverables should be clear. Otherwise, tomorrow they will start dictating so many things will happen. That's where experience matters. Consultants typically write consulting proposals. We write proposals saying that what are the kind of things which we can do it. And if you work as a consultant, knowing how to write a great consulting proposal will be an essential skill. You're very, very cautious. What's the kind of proposal you're writing? What's the kind of responsibilities you're taking? What's the kind of responsibilities the client should own it? And that should be clearly defined. And what's the time frame? What's the kind of resource required? What's the kind of hardware, software is required? All that you need to look at it. I'll tell you one more example. SBH, I was a consultant for 18 long years. Both hardware, software, I'm an expert advisor there. So they were buying a lot of hardware to various branches. And I was one member on the committee. And that fellow came up saying that first year is warranty, all of you know, first year is warranty, free service. Second year onwards, you have to enter into AMC, annual maintenance contract. That's also understandable. What this fellow has done, anything in Hyderabad, the rate is one. Outside Hyderabad, rate is another thing. And I don't know how many of your SBH branches has got branches in Bombay, Calcutta, Delhi, everywhere. So that file came to me and I looked at it. I said, where is the question of paying extra to this fellow to maintain my systems which are there in Delhi or Bombay or Calcutta or Bangalore, wherever it is? No, sir, outstation you have to pay more. And bank staff agreed. And that file came to me for signature. I said, I can't agree for this. Are you sending your hardware engineer from Hyderabad to Bombay to repair my system? Or the Bombay engineer is attending to it? They were doing it. Then the file came to me. I said, no, I can't. Then they went and reported to MD, mandate. So that time lady, she called me. It seems you are taking objection. What is the objection? Madam, it's outstation. There's a meaning is different. They are not sending the hardware engineer from Hyderabad to Bombay to repair our machines. They are using local manpower. Where is the question of paying outstation extra expenses? She immediately caught, yes, we cannot agree for this. That fellow backed out. We can't supply the machine. They said, don't supply. But we can't pay that. Unethical practices. Then we had to go for cancelling tender, re-tendering. Please understand it. So many problems. Re-tendering, we had to tell very clearly. And finally, somebody came out, and then we had negotiations, and finally we achieved it. I saved so much of money to the bank. All these consultant jobs. We are advisors. And that can help you to attract new clients. If you can execute a project successfully, your name spreads. They meet somewhere in Nizam Club or Secunderabad Club, they discuss, yes, the name spreads. You will attract more clients. How successfully you are executing it? Please understand. That's where I would like to suggest to all of you, please execute a project within the college first. Why don't you work on paperless college? For everything, people are moving around with the paper. We are Wi-Fi enabled, we have intranet. Why don't you do that? Online. We all talk about online systems. Why not we implement it? That experience gives you confidence and go and convince the client, yes, here we have done it. And once we can do it, we can do any other project also. That somehow the colleges are not doing it. Except even from the premier institutes like IITs and IITs, they are doing some extent. We are not doing that. That's why industry is not trusting us. I can't take a risk and put my data into your hands. So think about developing small software application to your own internal things. Why not? You can create your own video content, start uploading your own website. Maybe access can be restricted to your own people or maybe open to others. That's your choice. Everything we can do. Now, why should I come to her? Madam, last year question paper mein set de dijiye. Why should I come? Why don't you upload on your intranet? It's available and accessible to all the students and all the faculty of the college. Why should I go ahead and request her and waste her time also? Do some applications so that builds the confidence in you and confidence in the client when you want to do the project. And ensure success. You can't fail here. Fail means project is gone, you will invoke the penalty clause. Please note this. In all the contracts, is a penalty clause. If you don't deliver the project in such and such date and all that is over, you lose heavily. You need to be very, very cautious in committing that. Timelines, project cost, everything is important for us. You can't delay it. Talk to your potential client. The first step to writing consulting proposal is discussing the project details with your potential client in advance. You need to go and sit with the client and talk to them what exactly they want. Let me tell you, most often even the client is not clear. They'll give some briefing and they'll say, go and meet that fellow also. And she will say, go and that lady also. All the different versions they give it, please understand it. No, I need to come back, sit, think about it, and how best I can evolve the commonality. And before that, I need to educate myself on that domain. Let's say I'm doing a project for the insurance industry. I should know what insurance is. What are the kind of things are there? All that I need to understand it. So we used to read the general book on that specific domain to get some ideas, some thought process, and then we used to go to the client. Because client will not explain you in detail. For them, it's very simple. What is so great in it? Can't you understand even small things? This is how they talk. We need to educate ourselves in that application domain, then go there. This is what you need to do. And before you write a proposal, you can schedule a meeting or a phone call or talk to your client about their goals and expectations for the project. You need to be very clear what is their expectations, what is the outcomes they are looking at it, what is the format in which they are looking at it. Format has to be freeze. Please understand it. Otherwise, they'll keep on troubling with this, that, and so on, and goes on endlessly. You say these are the kind of outputs you're going, these are the kind of deliverables you're going to read. That has to be frozen. Till then, you can't finalize the timelines or cost is not possible. Otherwise, they'll keep on adding it. These are experiences we had. Some occasions where we are losing money also. But each one teaches a lesson to us. And consider taking notes on what the client says, including their expectations and goals for the project. When we are interacting with the client, we have to make a lot of notes. These days, I can put a phone on your table and what you're speaking can record. Those days we didn't have. And sometimes client will not agree to record like that. Please understand this. They say you take notes, don't record it. You have to record it. Whatever he or she is talking, you have to make note of that. And don't think that can happen just overnight. Maybe 2 sittings, 3 sittings. And each level, 3, 4 sittings can happen sometimes. One is mandate level, second general manager level, some other level, it happens. So taking notes on what the client says, including the expectations, all that, you must make notes. Very, very important. Unfortunately, academic world, we are very, very poor in documenting things. It's a problem. You're all doing great work, more work, but you don't document it. And that's what happens when this lady comes tomorrow to apply for a professorship. One simple question is, member sitting on the selection committee, what is the work you've done last 3 years? Can you tell us? Very simple, straightforward question. She never bothered to document it or even done some things. And she recalls some few things and talks about it. We are sitting on the other side of the table. We say, thank you, better luck next time. She would have done many more things, but she did not present to us. And I can't accept. That's over. My dear young friends, documentation is absolutely essential. I'm not saying you do documentation. When you go home, can't you prepare 4 lines, 6 lines documentation what the work you've done? You are involved in some activity, some photograph. These days, everything is digital technology. After mobile, can you connect to the computer and take that photograph? What is the problem? Everything needs to be documented, I'm telling you. For documenting in my institute. I have my annual reports right from 1985. Even today, I have those reports. Couple of years back, institute wanted to go for 60-year celebrations. They were trying to trace out the annual reports. Some of them are missing. They came to me, sir, you must be having your annual reports. Why don't you give it to us? I said, I will give it to you, but it must come back to me because they are my annual reports. One copy I already gave to institute. The other copies I'm maintaining it. They took that base on which they tried to build the information. If you don't document it, you're losing. And in 95, I realized in the process of preparing annual report, I'm missing out to include certain things which I was involved. We forget, that's human nature. Kya kare? By 96, we had internet in our institute. Then I started generating monthly report. Every month, I used to generate maybe 1 page, 2 page, whatever it is, generate the report and send it to boss. One day he called me, why are you sending all this? I said, whatever the work I've done, I reported it. It's for you to look it or not, is your choice. My job is over. At the end of the year, these 12 months reports I used to consolidate, do some kind of chapterization and all that, send it. Without boss is asking, I'm sending it. It's my job to report to the boss. This is what the work I've done. If anything you want to say, let him say. You should have done more, this, you should have done, no, fine, fair enough, I accept. But I must report. And as a committee member we come, affiliation committee or accreditation committee, we are just asking, show me with the work what you've done last 3 years. What is the equipment you bought and so on. You are not able to produce documents. That's a problem. So when client is talking, you must make notes. At the end of it, when you come back to your office, neatly format it, present it, and send a copy to the client. This is what we agreed, we understand. If there's anything, please tell us right now, not afterwards. That I can't accept it. Because sometimes bosses are so tough. On one occasion, I was in charge of the freshers party because some faculty has to be in charge. And normally all the time it takes is about 10 days. Final event is only 1 day, but 10 days preparation done. At the end of the freshers party, I prepared some 20-page report and sent to boss. He called me, why are you wasting your time on this? I said, last 10 days, where do I account for? My time should be accounted, right, somewhere? No, you're wasting your time, go. Let him say, I don't mind. But same gentleman, when that accreditation team comes, he says, sir, we document even the freshers party. Please look at this document. He is used for the instrument bit, I know, but look at it. It has helped us. The committee was very happy to see all this. Why we are not documenting? On one more occasion, I'll tell you. Somewhere my sixth sense said, boss is going to be trouble me. In the next 6 months, he's going to do something to me. I became cautious. I was recording minute to minute what the work I'm doing. Exactly after 6 months, this fellow called me. Sai Kumar, you're wasting your time. You're not done anything last 6 months. I said, give me 2 minutes time. I opened my laptop. I said, here is the date wise, time wise, hour wise. Show me where I am free and what the work I have not done. Even if he called for some meeting, I used to record. Director has called me for some meeting. That time I went and that time I came out. Or my student has come for discussions, I used to write. Or I go into library, I recorded. Or let's say my colleague has come to talk to me something, I recorded. Dr. Sridharaj came to me to discuss. He looked at the report. What is this you're doing? I said, I'm accounting for my time. What can I do? He said, go. And after that, he never touched me because he knows I document everything. It protected me. Please understand it. I'm not against my boss. It protected us. And you are not documenting it. I don't know why you are not documenting. Documentation is absolutely essential. ఇంకో చిన్న ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్తా. I don't want to be serious also all the time. Who is the young fellow? One of the male member, young fellow, రండి. రానైనా ఏం పర్వాలేదు, కొట్టను, మంచోడు నేను. Who is the youngest? Please come here. అరే ఏజ్ వైజ్ నన్ను ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ అడగట్లేదు ఇక్కడ. ఏజ్ వైజ్. Who are below 30? Below 30 ఎవరు లేరా? Below 35? ఎవరైనా రండి నాయనా. అరే కొట్టను రా, మంచోడు నేను. మహేష్ బాబు రా. ఎవరు? కృష్ణ, కమ్. I want to show you how important documentation is. కృష్ణ. ఓ, ఇంతమంది గోపికలు ఉన్నారు నాయనా. So look at Krishna. He has been sent an official trip to Delhi. He was not allowed to go by flight, so he went by train. First class AC compartment he was traveling. I don't know how many of you are. First class is a coupe, 2 berth, 4 berth, separate cubicles. You can lock it along to. So he was traveling in a 2 berth wala cubicle, and he was sitting there alone. Second passenger has not come. Human being is a social animal. You can't live in isolation. We always want somebody to be there. So 1 station gone, 2 station gone, 3 station gone. Sitting at those days didn't have cell phone. Otherwise, we all do time pass. It's not there. 4th station, some lady entered the coupe. He felt very happy. At least somebody is there to talk. Much more. He was happy. Hang smart ladies. He was very happy. At least somebody is there, no talk. After some time, that lady started smiling at him. He felt very happy. After some time, the lady came and sat next to him. He felt more happy. After some time, that lady started, Amma, photo this publicly. So the lady started leaning on him. He felt more happy. After some time, that lady said, Mr. Krishna, take out your wallet, take out your mobile phone, take out your gold chain and give it to me. Otherwise, I'm going to scream here now. Public will support only women, not Krishna. But this fellow is a very clever fellow. You know what he has done? I am a deaf and dumb fellow. Write it and give it to me. That lady trusted him and gave everything in writing. This fellow took that papers, put in his pocket. Now you shout. Because document is there now. Look at how much saving has happened. Other public would have beaten him and they would hand over to police for no fault of him. I want to tell you how important documentation is. Andukosam Japan. Right now, thank you. Please document everything what you're doing. It's very, very important. So consider taking notes on what the client says, including their expectations and goals for the project you need to talk about it. Imagine for a moment, I don't know, when did you pass out of BTech? Please sit down. 1989. Oh, 96. 96 she passed out of BTech. From which college? Karnataka. Okay, no problem. Don't worry. I was in Gulbarga University for a long time as a member on so many committees. Anyway, so she passed on 89, right? 95. 90? 96 she passed out. Today, when she was searching for the certificate, she found her BTech degrees somewhere misplaced or lost. It can happen, right? So now, but the boss is asking, "Aapka BTech certificate is idhar do," and she doesn't have it, either misplaced or lost something else. Now what happens? Now she has to go to her university. Which university? Gulbarga University. There are two popular colleges, Gulbarga, KBN and PDA colleges. PDA is good, I know that. I visited both the colleges. I visited the Dodappa also. Yeah, that college also visited. Anyway, so she goes to the university saying that I lost my certificate, I want a copy of that. First thing he'll ask is which year it is. Those days numbers were less, but today so many numbers. He will say, what is your hall ticket number?
Without that, we can't trace it. Look at JNTU. If somebody goes, you will say first, where is the hall ticket number? How can you trace it? Get that first. And she doesn't know. Don't have that. Now look at the problem. Somehow she could trace out and she could find the hall ticket number. She gave it. 95 to today, almost 30 years, right? 30 years. मैडम कब का रहे हैं मैडम 30 साल पुराना कहाँ रहता है रिकॉर्ड पूरा क्या है नहीं नहीं बाद में आप चलो 3 months shifted minimum I'm telling you after 3 months also no guarantee you may say sorry we don't have records now what will happen to her future now boss is saying without that I can't I'll have to stop salaries there's Supreme Court judgment on this the universities have to maintain records for 50 years 50 generally around 20-25 you pass out of graduation plus 50 75 you may or may not be surviving even if you're surviving nobody is going to ask where is your certificate but we have to maintain the records please understand that's where I'd like to tell you all of us are temporary but institutions are permanent today we are here tomorrow we may be but institution is answerable to us so please learn to document things this can help you determine what information is important to include in your consulting proposal based on this only you prepare a consulting proposal what are things I need to include it because once you include in the proposal you're caught so you need to take notes you need to have maybe if necessary go once twice thrice but only when you have the complete clarity then you prepare the proposal and you are committing to it please understand are we talking about it what client is looking for trust and confidence is this person trustworthy is this organization trustworthy should I give my project to him or her should I give my data to them data is highly confidential for every organization and is he going to deliver the product on time or is it going to delay like examination if it delays then the whole thing is gone or maintain the confidentiality like NEET exam is cancelled I recall once as a member on the question paper for APPSC I didn't know all these complexities I agreed when secretary directly came on the line and he said so and so somebody suggested your name and your name I thought like university exam so I said yes then he said we'll meet so and so place somewhere we don't meet in the office because people come to know who is that fellow is and that he speaks to me on personal phone not official phone that's what it happens so we met and he said you have to prepare 250 questions and 2 sets and all of them you have to give the answers by solving those things I can't say hey why A has come you have to solve it okay I didn't know all the companies and we agreed now having agreed I can't go back so I start working on it and after once the paper is finalized again I spoke to him on personal phone I said yes the paper is ready he said we'll meet at so and so place again not the same place again place changes confidentiality and he said I didn't know about this also he said now for the next 6 months you cannot leave the city of Hyderabad अरे तू कौन है बोलने वाला मैं that's a contract I didn't know about it next 6 months I'm not supposed to leave Hyderabad okay finally accepted and please understand any paper leakage I'll be the first one to get arrested somebody does somewhere something first police will take me into custody I didn't know all these things luckily nothing happened we came out somewhere kahin printing press mein release hota hai but it happens look at the dangers so trust they want client wants trust is this person trustworthy is he going to deliver on time is he going to deliver the quality expected out of it is he going to maintain the confidentiality of my data all that he looks at it and value for money okay I'm paying X amount am I going to get the return on that because I'm spending money I mean he is looking for value for money there are so many clients each one of us submit the proposals and in the government we go by the lowest quotation that's what government does but private anyway they look at the again in the case of in one organization we were there and one of the member on the committee And I said, we can't agree for this project. Though cost is low, but I gave a comparative analysis, what this client says, what that this thing says. And there's a huge difference. Cost is only 5% more. I said, go for this. Otherwise, you'll be in trouble. Take it from me. And they asked me to prepare the report, sign it, and give it to us. I'll sign it. I have no problem. And these two proposals are to be kept in sealed at you because tomorrow when it comes, we should be able to show it. Number of the government rules is lowest, but there are the questions where we are deviate for which we need to take the consultant proposals. And help clients to decide why choose your or others. There are a number of people who come forward to bid the project, and you must help why your project is better. Why should I give you the contract? Why should I give you a job? Why should you appoint you as assistant professor when so many people are waiting for? So same thing happens here also. And the proposal consists, a consulting proposal is a document a consultant writes to potential client regarding working together on a project. Working together, underline the word together. We both work in hand. Unless we both join hands, project cannot happen. It is their baby. Please understand this first. Client's baby. We are supporting, we are helping. All that is happening. Typically, a consultant writes a consulting proposal after they have discussed to the potential client about the project. Only after having detailed discussions, maybe 2-3 sittings, maybe 4 sittings or whatever it is, then you start writing proposal, not before that. First, you need to study and understand. I'll tell you, once I was doing a project for the GHMC, those days it was called MCH. I was talking to various people. There's so many departments within the GHMC. And nobody knows what the MCH Act says. There's Act. Nobody looks at it. Everybody is interpreting in their own way. So I had to study the Act and then report to them, this is what Act is saying. How can you operate like this? Sir, I see chalta aa raha hai. I see chalta aa raha hai, then you sign and give it to me the document. Then I'll implement that. But otherwise I cannot implement because Act is saying something else. Otherwise tomorrow you will throw the blame on, sir, you software ko develop kar diya. Then they have to constitute a committee, go into details, discuss, and finally modify the existing and give it to us. The consulting proposal then describes the project consultant is interested in, we are interested in executing this project, and the conditions under which they want to work. For every project, there are terms and conditions on which we agree. There's always a penalty clause. Both the parties are bound by that because both the parties sign the document. Once we agree, once the client is willing to do the project, we both have to sign. There is me, client, and we both. We are answerable to that. So the condition under which they want to work, they have to be agreed. That again, a lot of discussion. Don't think the proposal you submit, they accept it. They internally appoint a committee. That committee goes into it. They come out some lot of queries. We have to answer all those queries. Maybe we have to bring in small changes if required. All that happens. And depending on the organization, depending on the size of the project, it may be done in 1 week or 1 month, 3 months. Very, very common this is. And clear and concise proposal. Once you know what information you want to include in your consulting proposal, begin writing the proposal. Don't write too long. No, nobody has got time. Depending on the complexity of the project proposal may be from 30 pages to 300 pages. This is what general rule I'm talking about. You can't write 3,000 pages to give it to me. No client has the time to go through the 3,000-page proposal. You can develop your proposal from scratch or use a template to guide your proposal structure. What is the kind of structure you want it? Like the student's project is structure is some. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 4, PhD thesis also we have some guidelines. So same way we present structure. And then writing your proposal, be sure to concise language and the client clearly understands. Don't use unnecessary hi-fi language. You are talking to a client, you need to come down. Don't unnecessarily use too much of technical jargon. They don't know what it is. What they're interested in, what the kind of outputs they want, they're interested in. Sir, should I use Unix? Should I use something else? What is that Unix it is? They don't know. Please understand this. So don't bring in such technical jargons. Unless you are ready to educate the client, then you can talk about it. Otherwise, you can't. And you can also try to keep your proposal brief, small, short. Typically, consulting proposals are only a few pages long and include only the relevant information. Don't bring in unnecessary information. Relevant information must include. This can help you keep your client engaged and focused as they read your proposal. Since the brief concise, they know what it is and they can easily have the discussions with you, whatever is required. Can happen. Unnecessary, too much junk you put it, the main point focus is gone. Then it's a problem. And purpose of proposal is a consulting proposal helps consultants and clients to reach an agreement before they work together on a project. This proposal is going to be understanding both the client and the developer both together understand, yes, this is what we are going to get it. That clarity will come to both the parties. This is what required. The reason is sometimes even we don't have clarity as developers, let me tell you. The reason is I don't know what the domain is. I may have my own understanding. Then he says, no, this is not what the way we do it. Then he talks. Then accordingly I have to again modify my proposal. Don't think proposal will go in one writing. 2-3 sittings may happen. It's all very, very common. And therefore, consulting proposal typically include extensive information about the project. Project is important. You need to have a complete information about the project, what that project is, what the kind of functionality, what the kind of responsibilities, what the kind of outputs you generated, what the periodicity of outputs, what the format, so many other things. Ensure the client understands your project details. What are the project details you prepared? The client must understand it. If client is not understanding, he will not agree for that. He says, I want the clarification and proposal. And the role of the consultant, you need to define very clearly what is the role of consultant, what is the role of the organization. Roles and responsibilities you need to define. Who is responsible for what? And the consultant's pay rate and other factors. Naturally, it involves cost. You need to mention the cost, maybe total project cost or item by item cost. You can talk about it, or number of months you can talk about it. There are so many ways which works out. Or sometimes some of the clients say, okay, fine, you are developing software given to us. Next 1 year, I want your man to be here to help us, hand holding. Then that cost also to build in. Salary of that person whom I'm posting there for 1 year. Then so many other things will happen. That has to be taken care of. Or he will say, I want weekly so many times you have to come. There's so many other factors can happen. Or 1 year you take care of the things. Then after that, yes, you'll take care. I don't need person to be sitting here, but you must attend to it. There are different things will happen. You need to understand that. And a consulting proposal can also show potential clients what they may choose a consultant for a project, why they should choose a project. What is your competence? You have it. What's the kind of expertise you have? Please mention that. Maybe I have done so and so projects. These are the kind of things. And when you're claiming you've done a project to X organization, please give the reference and contact information. Let's say you've done a project to Jain to Anantapur. Who is the person there? So that I can talk to him, find out was really done a good project or not, what happened, all that. I need to have the feedback. So some of the clients will insist on giving the reference, the person name and address and contact details. Today, of course, we talk about mobile and email, all that is what's required. And first things first, let me give a simple example to make you understand. Building construction. Please make sure understand basic needs such as size, location of rooms, furniture to be used, storage required, and other utilities. I'm just using common example. Building, a building only, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, how many bedrooms attached, washrooms, and so on, all that. What is the size of the bedrooms? What is the size of the plot? What is the kind of house you want? Is it a single floor or a duplex house? And what kind of finishing to be done? What kind of flooring to be done? So many questions will come up. Only then I can talk cost. Otherwise, I can't talk cost. So please think about any future changes such as marriages, additions to the family, etc. Sometimes family size will grow. Sometimes family size will shrink because people have gone abroad. 2 old couple are living there. It can happen, both sides. So you have to keep in mind the expansion. You can't add one more, it's not going to be easy. So you need to understand that. Tell the client this is what you need to talk about it. I recall when I was thinking about constructing my own house, I used to draw plans. I'm not a civilian, but I used to draw plans. I would have drawn at least 25 plans. Each one is improvement over the other, including what kind of wiring I do, what kind of all that I was talking about. Sometimes once in a while I used to show it to my wife. This is what she used to say. I don't know all this. You construct, then I'll talk about it. Construction was pura paisa khatam ho gaya. What is that you will talk? I can't demolish and reconstruct it. And she said, I don't know all that. You construct it because the paper mein kya samajh. And then finally, once I frozen, 6 months I took it, 25 months. Finally, I went to the architect because the architect has to sign. I went and showed him this is, I'm thinking of constructing a 2-bedroom house. This is the kind of plan I wanted. He looked at me. You have done everything. What is there to look at it? I said, you have experience. Can you think about improving and giving me 2, 3 alternatives on which I can decide? He only said one thing. I wish all my clients do this kind of homework before they come to me. My job is very easy. So he worked on some 2, 3 things and showed it to me. Finally, we freeze on one of them and he said, let's go ahead. So how much we are doing homework before we commit ourselves? Building once in a lifetime here. पूरा life का savings लगा देंगे वहाँ पे. If you don't do your homework, you will repent lifelong. So same thing happens in the consultation. So please involve all the members of the family when finalizing the plans. आजकल के बच्चों का दिमाग अलग है. इधर माँ बाप का दिमाग अलग है. बीच में you फंस गया. Look at how to satisfy these different mentalities. You need to, because they have to live there. So you need to involve the family. You can't ignore them. This is very, very important. Prioritize the above mentioned factors in order of importance. What all things to be included? What all can be included at a little later stage? Because it involves time and cost. So certain things, because of financials, we can't do it right now. Maybe you can take up later, or because certain things, because time is not there, we can't include it. Either case, it may happen. So prioritize all the above mentioned factors in order of importance. What are the first priorities, what are the second priorities, third priorities, and so on. Same way it happens in project also. You say these are the first things to deliver, second, third, fourth, delivery. This is what you talk about. And use all the information when designing the house. All that information you need to understand, then you come out with the plan. This is what you look at how much effort has to go. And elements of consulting proposal. A great consulting proposal typically contains few key elements, including title page, project title, the company to which you are doing the project, and your organization name. This is what typically happens. And if possible, you can mention the year. That's all what you're doing. What is the project title? What is the client to which you're doing? And what is your company name? And the year of doing that you can do. And then greetings. Always start with a good morning or greetings of the day or whatever, greetings of the season, something like that. It's always good greetings. And executive summary of the project. If I talk in the research point of view, we write abstract, right? So same here, because the CEO of the company will not have so much time. You look at only the executive proposal. The other members, they may look at the total details. So you need to prepare the executive summary of the project and that they look at it. And other members may go into details. And project objectives, what is the objectives you want to achieve it at the end of the project? That should be clearly mentioned. This is what you need to talk about it. And what are the things you deliver it? What time you deliver it? How much time you require to generate these things? What is the frequency at which you need to generate these reports? What is the volume of those reports? All that you need to estimate it and talk about it. And your background credentials. What is your expertise? What is your experience? What is the kind of projects you've done? You need to give the information to us. Sometimes you might not done projects in that domain. It can happen. But we say we've done projects in other domain. Now we have the capability of doing them. We have done already 5 domains, we have done the project, so you are capable of doing 6th domain also. Not necessarily we have done the project, yes, we can do that. Things can happen. And project terms and conditions, everything you have very clearly mentioned terms and conditions. Very, very important. Because both the parties, the client and you, are got bound by that. And legally, we are caught. You need to be very careful when you're bidding projects for the outside. Maybe Maharashtra, maybe Punjab, maybe somewhere. What is the legal jurisdiction? Suppose he files a case in Punjab High Court. Every time he calls, you have to go up and down, flight charges. Who will bid it? You need to be very clear about it. USA jurisdiction is Hyderabad, or mutually agreed things has to be done. You have to clearly mention that legal jurisdiction where. Otherwise, files a case there, you have to go there. All these small things, the terms and conditions, you need to mention it. And also you need to mention the penalty clauses. If you don't deliver on time, what's the kind of penalty? If you doesn't give the data on time, what's the penalty? Or is there a possibility can you extend the project time by 3 more months? Something like that. You need to talk about it. All these terms and conditions are given, and what intervals the payment can be released. If I deliver so and so, you deliver the first installment, deliver so and so, second installment, or whatever it is, you need to have it. That has to be talked about it because money at the end of the day. And conclude it. Finally, brief conclusion you can have. This is what it says. Broad structure is not necessarily it's the same. It varies. Broad structure and all. Contract information is one of the most important elements include your consulting proposal. In the heading of your consulting proposal, you can include the client's name, the role of the company, role and responsibilities of company, and you also need to talk about it. It is also important to declare the date of the proposal for the record keeping purposes. When did you submit the project proposal? Now, what happens in one of the government departments, remember, we worked on, we had a lot of discussions, we agreed upon, we prepared the proposal, we submitted to them. After 2 years, he calls me, said, now the proposal is approved, can you go ahead? I said, 2 years later, cost has gone up now. Bendi उसी rate में मिलेगा? नहीं मिलेगा. He said, no, you have agreed for this. We didn't include that time. If the project delayed in approval, it will add cost. He caught us on that. Now, experience we say this proposal is valid only for 3 months or 6 months, whatever the time we talk about. After 3 months, this proposal is not valid. Technology is changing, cost is changing, everything is changing. How can you make me bound? There are things. There's so many things to be talked about it. I recall one more thing. In our institute, we buy the books and give it to all the students. So students get a lot of discount. On one occasion, my boss put me on the committee, procurement committee. Somebody or the other will be there. That year I happened to be there. Librarian came to me, sir, these are the kind of books what we need to procure. These are so many students for each subject, this and that. She came. And she said this is estimated cost. And we are getting 10% discount for the suppliers. And I said, I will not agree for this. I want 35% discount. Last 10 years, they are giving 10% discount. Now, suddenly I come and say 35% discount. That librarian said, sir, this can't happen. Nowhere it is there and it not can happen. I said, don't tell me all this. I want trade discount, 35%. She said, no, publisher will give you. Don't tell me I'm an author of publisher. I've authored books for Tata McGraw and Macmillan. I know those things. You tell your suppliers, this is what is required. She could not manage, she sent all the suppliers to me. They all came to me. Sir, it is unheard, nowhere we do that and none of us do that. We give only 10% is the maximum discount we can offer. Maybe 1% more we can think about it, since you are insisting on so much. I said, nothing doing, 35% I want. If you cannot supply, tell me, I'll directly deal with the publishers. At least Tata McGraw and Macmillan, I can directly deal, I know that. Will you supply this or not? Then they went back after a week, they came, sir, maximum the difficulty, we can arrange 20% for you. Nothing doing. The only thing which I can do is I can come down by 2%, that is 33% discount. Finally, they came down. And from then onwards, till this date, we get 33% discount. Otherwise, their usual discount is 10%. 10% क्यों दे रहा है यार? I am buying 500 copies of each book. It's not a small number. And you have to do that. People take it granted. So many things happens. Greetings. You can also include a brief greeting on your consulting proposal. In this section, you can greet the person to whom you are addressing the proposal and thank the client for the consideration. Thank the client, thank all these people who gave you information about the organization, information about the project and all. You say thanks to so and so, they gave us so much of time, they explained everything, and all that you mentioned here. By thanking, you don't lose anything. And you can also use the greetings to emphasize your interest in working with the client. Thank you so much for considering us, giving us an opportunity to bid for the project and all. So thank you. Client organization. Briefly write about the client organizations. Depending on the project size, maybe half page, 1 page, 2 pages, you can write. What are these client organizations? They are into manufacturing so and so products, or they have factories in so and so place, or they have office in so and so place. Their network is spread over their country, or whatever it is. You need to mention that broadly. This is what you need to do. Depending on the project size, you can talk about maybe half page to 2 page maximum you can talk about it. And not more than 2 to 3 pages is what you can talk about it. And executive summary of the project, I talked about it. Another key component of consulting proposal is project summary. In this section, briefly describe the project and provide an overview of it. This is meant for CEO of the company. The chairman mandate is not for you, because he will not have so much time. In nutshell, you should communicate everything. This is what needs to be done. And include the main points of the project. What are the highlights of the project? You need to mention it. And including the problem it's addressing it. What is the problem? What is the kind of solution? How the organization is going to benefit out of this project? Is what you need to talk about it. And the goals of the project you need to talk about. All this has to mention briefly in that. This may vary again from half page to 1 page, not more than that again. And it should not be more than 1 or 2 pages, is what you talk about. Project objectives. What are the objectives? Why are we taking up this project? What is that organization going to achieve by implementing this project? Maybe financially, physically, whatever it is, you talk about. Your consulting proposal can also include your client's main project objective. This is what you talk about. And it's important to make the project objective very clear and measurable. Measurable, please understand this. Measurement is very, very important. And for example, a good project objective that includes metric could be create a project management software system that improves productivity by 10% more. You mentioned 10% will increase your productivity, can happen. What are the some numbers you mentioned which is acceptable mutually is what you talk about. And what's that you are deliver it. In this section, clearly list project deliverables to ensure the client knows what to expect from you. What is that he can expect tomorrow? You need to clearly mention it. What are the things you can deliver it? By the end of the first month, second month, third month, and so on, all that has to be very clearly mentioned. You need to do that. Or maybe first month I'll give trial outputs, you can check it, and any corrections are there, you can suggest us, we'll include it. Second is the final approval, third onwards, production starts. That has to be mutually agreed, you need to think about it. And decrease the likelihood of disputes or responsibilities. You need to very clearly understand each other's responsibilities. Clearly mention. If necessary, get it vetted by a legal expert. Because ultimately lands in court, we need to be very cautious. So take the legal opinion and see that it is vetted by the legal expert so that we are safe tomorrow. And for example, your deliverables could include preparing a resource management report. What are the kind of resources are required? What are the kind of resource you expect from the client? What is the kind of resource you would like to deploy there in terms of man, machinery, material, all that you will talk about it. And who are going to take care of consumables? When you say I put so many printers and out, and who will pay for the toner? Toner కదా చెప్పేది దానికి ఎవరు పే చేయాలి అవన్నీ క్లియర్ ఉండాలి. And who has to own the station responsibility? Because 1 year I take maintenance doesn't mean I'm going to take care of software maintenance, not this. So it should be clearly mentioned. And designing a technology training course for the client's employees. Now, once your software is ready, you need to train the client organization employees. They may identify. That also has to be clearly mentioned how long you're going to give the duration of the training. Is it 3 days? Is it 1 week? Or how many employees you do it? Or how many batches you do training? Because everything paisa is involved, cost. All that has to be clearly mentioned. How many days training you will do it? And where the training is done. If training is done in Hyderabad, fine. If training you want me to do in Assam, you need to add to the cost of travel, boarding, lodging, everything. You need to cost it. And today you have to include the cost of GST and everything. Also need to include it. And the bid, finally the bid comes. Normally, bids are two parts. One is what we call as technical bid, second is financial bid. Initially, the client will open only technical bids. They don't open the financial bids. Maybe 5 people have submitted their proposals, and on a specific date, they open it. And most of the cases in front of the persons who are bidding for the project. They say, so and so date we're opening, you can come. So we know who all the other people participating in this. And technically, we talk about it. We'll not go into financial details. And if there's any objections, you can raise there. Because somebody may claim, I have done so and so project. I know that he has not done it. Then you can raise, no, he has done. Let him prove it, what he has done it. All that thing is allowed. And then they have their own internal committee to evaluate technically, is it really meeting all the requirements what they're looking for. Once that is done, they shortlist. We don't open anything. The 3 best technical proposals, then we go for it, and we open their financial bids. Normally 2 are separate proposals. And that also we open in front of, we inform them, so and so date we are opening it, so you are welcome. So they may come, they may not come, they may send some representative, so okay, fine. They will send letter to us, in our place, their so and so is coming. In front of them open, because all 3 people now they know what is the financial bid we put, how much we quoted for the projects. Once technical bid is accepted, then we go with financials. Generally, government is lowest bid. The person who quoted lowest, we take it. So technical specifications, the kind of components what you're using it, the rating and capacity, what is the kind of rating, what is the kind of capacity of those machines, what you're using it, is what you know. And coming to financials, material cost, labor cost, taxes and duties, and miscellaneous expense, all that has to be. Because you're putting so much of manpower for which there's a cost involved. Labor doesn't mean labor. So cost is involved, manpower cost. All that, just I'm giving again broad idea is what you need to talk about. All this cost you need to include it. And you need to talk about your background. Why should I consider you? మనం చూస్తున్న మ్యాచ్ మేక్లో అటు 7 తరాలు ఇటు 7 తరాలు చూడాలి. So what is your background? I need to look at it. I can't take a risk of giving my projects. Including a section with your credentials can be a great way to persuade the potential clients that you are optimal consultant for their project. What is your experience? What is the expertise? What are the kind of projects you executed in the past? All that you need to mention that there. So these are the kind of projects you've done. This is what it is. And these are the references. If you want, you can contact them and get the information about our services. And in this section, briefly discuss the background, skills, and experience that make you qualified. What's the kind of manpower expertise you have? You need to talk about it. How much manpower you can deploy for this project? How long you can deploy it? What is the experience and expertise of those people who are going to be deployed? All that you can mention. And this can make the client more likely to choose you for the project. Based on your experience, expertise, and the kind of manpower what you have it, based on which, and based on the expertise you have, we decide to consider you or not is a different story. And terms and conditions, any project take up, yes, there's always terms and conditions will be involved. You will very clearly drafted. This paper must be vetted by legal advisors. Otherwise, we are bound to this. I give a very simple example. I'm sure you have a TV at home. What's our TV? We have it. Oh, bada 15-inch wala hai TV. Which brand it is? Okay. How many years guarantee they win? 1 year, 2 years, 5 years? Guess, no problem. 5 years guarantee. What's your name? Ashwini said 5 years guarantee. She got it. I don't know. It's not my TV. Sir, which brand you have at home? Sony. Oh, big brand. कितने साल गारंटी दिया है? 1 साल, 2 साल, 5 साल? 1 year. These two are your colleagues? Are they your colleagues? Yes or no? Tell me here. Do you trust them? We can believe them? Let's say yes or no. Nobody is believing here. What can I do? Nobody is believing. They don't trust on me. What can I do? Do you believe them? Sorry, my dear friends. With due respects, these two are liars. Jhoot bol rahe. Sorry, बुरा नहीं मान. No manufacturer gives a guarantee. Please note this first. You said guarantee. You said guarantee. No manufacturer gives guarantee. What they give is warranty. subject to number of terms and conditions which are listed there. Those terms and conditions mostly favorable to the manufacturer, not to the end customer. When you go there, he will say this is not covered. Have you not read the terms and conditions? This is not covered. This is not covered. We can't do it. Like recently it happened in Hyderabad me. The building is demolished, newly constructed house. Some people have just done the housewarming, some people yet to do it, and building is constructed. And the Hydra Ranganath comes and demolish everything. Maybe he's right, I don't know. Now this fellow already lost everything. And banker will come. इस month का installment नहीं आया मेरे पास. अरे मकान कहाँ है पैसे का? I don't know all that. Look at the terms and conditions you signed. Did you say if house is demolished, I will not pay? Did you say if earthquake comes, I will not pay? You agreed for everything. You didn't bother to sign. You were happy getting loan. You signed all the pages. They make you sign 30, 40 pages. Now banker says, nowhere you mention this, so please pay the money. He informed the organization, so and so money, cut and pay. Now look at it. On one side he has to pay EMI, the building is not existing, and on the other side he has to pay rent also, because no new house, for which किराया चाहिए. So terms and conditions must be read thoroughly, understand it. It's very, very important. These days we have seen so many cases in Hyderabad. Anyway, so term conditions very, very important. Include a section that covers the terms and conditions of project. List your consulting rate and a time frame for the project with anticipated start and end dates. What is the start date? What is the end date? You need to mention it. You can't take the project to be endlessly continuing it. Cost will shoot up. This is what's going to happen. Start date, end date, you need to mention it, and what is the rate and all that you need to talk about it. And this can help ensure that your client agrees with the important terms of working with you. What are the terms? You both sign the document. This document is signed by both the parties. Both are bound to that. This is what I mean. Now, client knows these are the terms on which you are agreeing to this project. You'll talk about it. And client role and responsibilities and what is your role is both you have to mention it. Both are required to mention. This is what you I'm going to show you a video. Purple effects. This cover jail. Look at how major projects are handled. This probably all of you know. Reliance Refinery.
with Indian planes. The same way, let me tell you one from the Hyderabad. The high-tech city got into cyber towers. We have just completed 180 working days, 3 months. I remember in the initial days we were negotiating so much. The then Chief Minister John had said, I want this project to be completed in 6 months. And then we came forward, they committed. And we had our own doubts. I don't know how many of you were. It was like a hilly area, totally, all rocks and everything, nothing. Then you have to attend meetings. There is not even a tea there. Only roadside it shoot out the fish markets. It's all place, the rocks, beach. Such precision to which in picture. So that is how we build the contract. Very clear about it. Fabrics, the price. Build it, there's a huge money available. Yes. You will make a lot of money. Even we make a lot of money. We have the project, we have the penny grants. There's what happens. We never looked at Sundays. Projects are delivered on. That is a commitment. Then, yes. Money will flow in. Money is not a problem. Show me the problem. But are you prepared to sacrifice some things? Are you prepared to willing to work for extra hours? Japan, Germany, US, UK, Australia, America, one, other opportunities are making. They are, and especially tier 2 cities, big threat there. Districts, they're all worried now, they may not get admission. Even they get admission, last rankers brought on not. Same happens with some of the colleges. Don't think. Private schools already started closing admission targets. After you marry Mullah, maybe calls. 3 universities got them, right? We will get admissions. So you need to change, you need to upgrade, you need to update yourself, you need to be ready for that challenges, otherwise tomorrow. Even every institute wanted to go for university, but because the Telangana government has not cleared the proposals, if I know. Otherwise, there are about 7 colleges to be turned into universities. PNR, Janjoki, Narayanamma, Patman, Patma, we will be more than CBAT, yes. There are many more. They are all very close. So finally, quick questions, 1 or 2 questions, we can take it before we close the session.
Thank you so very much, sir. Professor N. Saikumar, who has delivered a very good sessions on our consultancy proposals and innovative teaching methodologies. From the morning onwards, the servers having a very good session. I hope we all have enjoyed and have learned something different. So thank you from all of us. We thank Professor sir. Thank you so much, sir. I come upon your Dr. A. Rangireddy garu,
I will take a result tomorrow as I come. What's another college issue?
Sir, this laptop belongs to CMR. You know how I got it?
No, I don't know.
My laptop got burnt here. Short circuit.
Okay.
When General gave me this.
Oh, very nice.
And I said, data I can't put laptop. Luckily, I had some backup, but something I had to recreate it. So from then on, what's every month I take back.
That much you have generated.
Yes. Some short circuit happened. And the whole thing. Hard disk crash, motherboard crash.
For something you want to do. Again, data was people are ready to leave. What is Randy. Randy. This is what you can have a photograph. Even some of the background who want to die. Every time you have to change it, then hello. లేదంటే కొన్ని స్క్రిప్ట్ మంది తెచ్చుకోవాలి ఎస్ ఈవెంట్ నేమ్ అనేది రావాలి అట్లీస్ట్ అంటే అక్కడ బయట రెగ్యులర్ చేపిస్తారు అలాంటి విత్ ఈవెంట్
ఎక్కడ మొమెంటస్ టూ మెనీ అయిపోయింది
రైస్ కూడా వస్తున్నాం
డైలీ ఒక కాల్
మీరు మ్యూజియం
అంత ఓపిక లేదు సార్.
సో విల్ హ్యావ్ అన్నారు ఫోటోస్ సార్తో పాటు అక్కడికి వెళ్దాం సార్ బీ బ్లాక్ వెళ్దాం బీ బ్లాక్ చలో నిన్న ఎస్టర్డే వి థాట్ బట్ now
group photograph.
Now there is no occasion. At least now there is Alan, please move to big block.